Welcome, coders and space monkeys alike, to our first ever Beyond Good and Evil 2 video. We're going to be discussing the recently released developer footage that Ubisoft just put out in one of their Space Monkey blogs. As you can see right in front of you, we have some of this footage right there to show you, and I wanted to dissect all of this footage into a couple different things that I noticed as major standout points that they were able to show. The first thing that you might notice right off the bat is that we're in a very different environment than we've been in any of the other footage that we've been shown. Albeit this is in a very early state, so remember that when we're going through it. So while the visuals are definitely incredibly good, they're still going to get better. The polish is going to continue to be piled on. We're still in pre-alpha footage. So one of the cool things that we're looking at here is just the fact that we're starting on a much smaller, more intimate scale than we've ever seen before. I'm going to break this video up into what I noticed that they were taking us through, which is 3 distinct scales. Something that no game has really attempted in the way that it has here before. The way that I'm going to define that is micro, which is this intimate, like interior, more story-based, intimate kind of level design. The meso level, which is that intermediate, that city scale, that giant like GTA size thing. Most games stop there at meso and they don't go past. And then at macro scale, which is a solar system sized exploratory sandbox that can be taken at its own pace in multiple different ways. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. The first thing that you'll notice right here is that we start off with a nice little stealth section that seems to have some sort of mysterious thing there. A couple frames ago, we actually got to see a little bit of hints at what the story's about. There were chopped up limbs of these creatures that inhabit this specific city. And as we can see, we've now broken our way into some sort of experiment area where they're cutting these people, these like hybrid animal human things up. So these are obviously not good guys, and we really want to see, I can't wait to see like where this story takes us, but I can see already it's a lot darker than the first game's tone. Being that this is actually a prequel, that kind of makes a lot of sense because Beyond Good and Evil is a little bit more of an established universe, whereas this one you can see is having its growing pains currently. It's kind of race wars. It's like battle between hybrid humans and regular humans, and you'll see that more in the meso section where you're starting to see a little bit bigger scale and where that class divide is. They talk about it in the video, and I'll break that down for you. Here we're getting a chance to see some combat. There's a couple of things that they showed us here that they didn't show us in any other video before is the ability to add augments, I think is what they called. This is similar to like a modding system in most other games. You can see they also are heavily using a scanner, which is kind of reminiscent of Jade's camera in the first game, and I think that's going to be heavily used for these investigative pieces, just to kind of showcase all that augment system and that camera are going to be very utilized in these smaller sections. Now here's the transition between the micro and the meso sections, that kind of increase in scale. They quickly take us out to spaceships, giving us 2 examples of what that looks like: a full-on like fighter, and then a little motorcycle type hovercraft. And then we take us out to this incredible city. I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's absolutely stunning, and you can see that they're getting really close to capturing that feel from that initial trailer that they put out as to how bustling these cities will be, and kind of giving you that very distinct look. We just got a shot of a mural that was designed by an actual like fan. They're incorporating fan art into the game using that I think it's push play or press start or something like that program, which is pretty cool. So if you want to get your art or your music featured in it, there's ways to do that. Now this is the city right here that we're getting a chance to see a little bit of, that we really haven't gotten a chance to dive into in a meaningful way. Some of the things that they talk about here or show here is that ability for that class divide. You'll notice in certain shots that there are actually like slums in the bottom level of this city. In the middle level, it's kind of more ornate and kind of like that's where you're gonna see your shops and stuff like that. And at the very high level, that's where all the wealth is. These are where all the super rich humanoid characters are. And down in the bottom, you're gonna see those hybrid animal human hybrid kind of characters, and that's really cool. This ability to kind of dynamically showcase that by just how they build the city is really cool. I think we're gonna get a better shot of that here. Now this is another thing they mentioned, is that every single vehicle is pilotable. It's something I expected, but it's nice to hear the confirmation. But you can see right here, just the ability to like fly through that city is really, really like freeing. This meso scale where you have entire cities to explore, and it seems like they're gonna be very interactable. Now obviously, super alpha state, I wanna reiterate that here because this is where you're gonna see the most like limitations of the engines currently. I think that's mostly just the state in which the game's in, not so much what the engine can do. So rest assured, this game's going to look significantly more polished. Now, as you can see, they've gotten up to this balcony area, and that's when they popped open this menu to show you how to build these custom fighters that you can traverse the planets in, that mesoscale in. It has all kinds of cool things. I sped it up here, but you can always go back and look at it. A lot of customization, a lot of little modular things that they can add. Engines, they all affect your stats, and you'll see why that's important when you get into this dogfight. You can see that ship that they built right there was immediately apparent, and they even kind of hint that it is something you can quickly and easily just add on new things to. Dogfighting looks tight and awesome. The controls look like they handle well. The visuals are quite impressive for this early state, especially in this mesoscale. And I think that with that incredible statue behind you, it just really gives you an idea. Now, one cool thing that they mentioned here that I don't want to miss is the influence of laws in certain areas. They really kind of give you a very distinct impression that laws from city to city are going to be dependent on what's actually there. So in this city, when you go up too close to this tourist destination, the cops don't like it, and they send fighters after you using that frigate. You can see here just the detail from that micro scale to the meso scale. It's completely seamless. There's no loading, there's no nothing like that. And here we go from that meso scale to kind of show a little bit more of that macro scale, which is something they really haven't shown too much, and really they're not going to dive in too much into that. I'm still very intrigued by how your crew is going to interact with each other on your frigate, or I think is what they call it. Maybe it's a mothership. I'm not sure what the phrasing was. It could have been a translation thing, but I wanted to kind of dig in there more. But you can see right here, seamless, right off the planet, going to your frigate, your main cruiser, which is shown right here. Oh my God, it looks so much better than it ever has. You can just really feel the love that's starting to be crafted and poured into the game. They've really gotten the engine purring and everything under the hood running, and now it's all about polish, add. The thing that's really cool about this is this entire sequence is actually played in co-op. There's a couple sections that I had to cut out just because they were showing the developers and not so much the footage itself, showcasing that more, but this is played with a co-op friend. And the cool thing about this is at this scale, you can go off and play in different areas. He's still in the city while you're up here in like hovering in orbit. Right here we see some landmarks that they've placed. This is like continent-sized landmarks. These are hints that they've designed and are going to continue to design with the community in ways to get you attracted to certain areas, to maybe find secrets and things like that. So obviously it's a broad area. There's a lot of investigation you have to do, but you can use that scanner to get a little bit more information about certain areas, including scanning the cities. But down there, they're showing you the entire city is still being rendered, even though you're not even close to it, and your friend is currently down there, or could be currently down there, exploring the city, checking out all the hidden places, giving you like feedback while you scan different things and mark for different extra territories and all of that while you're just up there at your frigate, which is so amazing. That's such a cool like feature. This is what they called the universe map, which at first was a little throwing me off because it was just showing that one planet, and I thought it was flat, but they very, very clearly were like, no, this is in 3D, this is the entire universe being simulated in our map screen. So they never take you out of the experience at all times. Now you can see all kinds of points of interest. They show you and they flip you around to the other side of the planet, because on this specific planet, one of the cool features is that it is a moon around a gas giant. And what happens with moons around giant gravity wells like that is that one side, if it's held in kind of like a singular position compared to the planet, is that one side gets bombarded by asteroids, and that's exactly what happened there. So one side is completely uninhabitable pretty much. You can visit it and you can explore it, but it's dangerous. And here's where they pull back to the entire solar system, just to kind of showcase that that's just one planet in one little section of one part of the solar system. And these entire planets have multiple cities, multiple places, multiple secrets all to explore. And here they kind of pull back to show you how realistic physics take place into it, to round you off and show you that you can go into super speeds. But that's really all I had for you today, and I really hope that you like what I was able to show you here. I think the developers are on an incredible track. There's plenty more secrets to uncover, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to our channel, Game Code. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment below. What is the most exciting thing you saw in this video or this breakdown, and what do you want to see added still before the game releases? Again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay classy, coders.